Cheers, welcome. This is a tarot oracle reading about random shift. And the card that came out for the tarot for the underlying energy is a never-ending nightmare. This is the Nine of Swords energy. So this is talking about a situation where you are having like the same dream over and over again. And I just had this, I had a dream last night. And in that dream, I was working on this. Like I was like, why is it that sometimes people have not just nightmares, but night terrors, and they tend to run in families? The Mayo Clinic says that it can be hereditary, but most people outgrow it by the age of 12, and it's not anything really serious. But when it's happening in your family, it's really disturbing because the person might get out of bed. A lot of times people just thrash around and you can't comfort them. And at other times they actually literally get out of bed and they're sleepwalking and their eyes are open, and you'll say, hey, why are you out of bed? Are you okay? And they'll just really freak out then, because if they're dreaming about a monster, all of a sudden the monster has your voice. And so it's not fun when your children have this. And I was thinking that I'd be interested, put it in the comments if you have this running in your family. I feel that this is because they can't really find a physical cause for it. It does sometimes go along with an energy of restless leg syndrome, which is like a neurological phenomena, but they can't really say 100% what is causing it. I feel it's a spiritual issue, and that when we're in our sleep, we sometimes have dreams. And maybe because last night I woke up from a scary dream, and I was like, whoa, and I remember it really well. Like I remember the faces in it, but they weren't faces of people that I know. And so I was like, why am I having this dream right now? And I thought, well, maybe in the collective, other people are also have experienced this in their family. And I had pulled these two cards out for the underlying energy for this reading. And then I was meditating and fell asleep, and boom, that dream came along. So if you've had that, put it in the description box below. I do feel this is on a spiritual nature, and let's see if we can resolve it. This is talking about energy that would be going down, like it's almost like a spiritual curse of like unfinished business, like karma that hasn't been resolved, I feel. And it's going down the family line, and then it affects everybody, and I feel that the reason why people outgrow it by the time they're 12-ish is because they're less close to the spiritual realm. Like when we're children, we're so innocent and we have imaginary friends and all of that energy. And then, as we grow older and we're more indoctrinated into society, we are less like that. We do have the High Priestess here, and this is talking about having very, very high intuition. The High Priestess sits between two pillars, and those two pillars are extreme opposites, and she has all this information around her. And this is talking about that energy. In my oracle, she's a beautiful dragonfly, and this is talking about having, being able to adapt to life very easily, like to different situations in life. And this is like mastery of life on the wing. Back in when they were first engineering helicopters, they studied dragonflies because of their ability to maneuver like through really amazing complex aerial maneuvers. And they can go straight up and down in like that. And they also are able to hover for a very extended period of time. So I feel like there's something around this that I'm going to see what happens in this reading. It's random shifts, so we never know what's going to come up. Okay, so like here we have it. We have the Nine of Swords, and this is the Eight of Swords. So this is at night, and this is during the day. So this is someone who is in a position where they are having something that like they almost feel like they're in a mental prison. And so it's like something that's bothering you all day, and then it shows up because you haven't, you're half awake and half asleep. So this mental prison energy, quite often, you see how she's duty bound. This can represent someone who who has to make a decision that they don't want to have to make. And quite often it can be a situation where they have to make the decision because it's their duty to do so. They're an authority figure and they must do it. Or it can represent the energy of maybe possibly it involving people that you really care about, and you know that they're going to be affected by your decision, but you have to make it anyway. This is not wanting to see the problem, the blindfold, not wanting to see the whole solution, not wanting to have to take action, but you do have to, because you can't just stand here for the rest of your life or be sitting in bed. Like, you have to be able to leave your comfort zone to be able to solve this problem. And I feel there was way more water here to begin with. This is water in tarot, represents your emotional state. And you can see the water has dissipated, and she's managed to put 7 of the 8 thoughts behind her. So this is saying that, you know, she's got her right foot on dry land, and this is talking in body language, moving forward with your right foot. And then her left foot is still in this shallow puddle. And so this is saying that, you know, I feel that she has put these 7 thoughts behind her, and she's going to take action on this one. This is the action she has decided on. Pretty quick here, she's going to cut herself free and, you know, take that blindfold off and deal with the problem in the, you know, in daylight. And then we have, but you see behind her, like, these are almost like a fence between her and her home, and she has her back to it. So this quite often can represent an energy of having to leave people that you love behind, or being separated from what you love, that type of energy. And but this is saying, like, this mental prison is it's not a physical thing. It's a problem that you just can't solve. And maybe the reason why you can't solve it, we also have behind, these can represent the thoughts that are behind her from other people as well, like behind her back. So let's see what else is going on. We have the Emperor here. The Emperor has been showing up a lot in the readings in this week that I'm doing this reading. He's about high-level performance. He wears his armor underneath his robe, and he is ready to grab onto an opportunity at a moment's notice. So it's interesting because sometimes, you know, what we're most afraid of can be our success rather than our failure. If we play small and we don't go for it, then we don't have anything to lose, you know, compared to if we do go for it and then we fail and we really wanted it. So the Emperor energy, he is high-level performance. He's ready at a moment's notice to get up and grab any opportunity that goes by, but he waits until the time is right. He's got this Ankh in his right hand, and this is talking about new energy coming in and a new way of being. He doesn't fight for what he wants. Like, he's not someone that's going to fight for what he doesn't want. He'll only get up and fight if it's absolutely necessary. And it rarely is for him, because he's an alpha male energy. He's at the top of his game, someone who's very wise. He embodies the qualities of all 4 kings from the Minor Arcana. And so he's this alpha male energy that, you know, the beta males, they don't approach him in that way because they've seen him clean other people's clocks, you know. And so this is an energy of getting to the point where you're high-level performance, and you're not afraid of that. You're not afraid of the power of that. That's something around that. Now, we do have disappointment, regret, and remorse here. And the 5 of Cups is representing love. And this can be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. It can be in, you know, love of anyone or anything, even more love for yourself. And this can also be talking about something you love to do or something you love to be. And so there definitely is regret and remorse here. Now, this could be, you might be the Emperor energy here. And maybe this is talking about something that you had to overcome to become, you know, to move into that energy of being an Emperor. And remember, this can also be a female in her masculine energy, very masculine. Like, this would be someone that really has to, that doesn't have that support behind her. So she has to be the masculine and the feminine energy. And this is talking about the, you know, there's 3 cups spilt here and there's 2 standing. Now this energy is representing the saying, don't cry over spilt milk, which means like when it's in the ground, what are you going to do? Like you could stand there and cry for the rest of your life, but it's not going to change the situation. You're not going to, it's a loss and you have to accept it as such. And this is talking about 2 glasses of wine spilt on the ground, and then another cup here has some other liquid in it that appears to be poisonous to the couple. Because, and so this definitely in romantic love could represent a third party energy. If it's not romantic, it could be talking about someone or something getting in the way of something you really wanted, something that you love to do, something that you love to be, you know, that sort of energy. And now we have 2 cups standing behind. So the best thing you can do in this situation is turn around and acknowledge the 2 cups that are still standing and be grateful for them and say, well, at least I have this to work with. Appreciate it. Walk down the path, cross the bridge over troubled water to your castle. Now notice that castle in the background looks half dilapidated and half standing. So this is saying, you know, a good attitude is going to be necessary to overcome this, because you do feel a real heavy loss here. Is the cup going to be half full or is it going to be half empty? And then we have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands energy is a rebel coming in with a cause. He is very passionate. He has the element of fire here. The wands are made of wood, and they represent taking passionate action, because wood fuels the fire. Now he's got this big, huge red plume on the back of his helmet, and this is saying that he's very passionate, and so he in the past has been impulsive and quite a hothead at times, and so he has learned to rein his emotions in and control them, like to not let the horse get away from him. The horse is bucking, you know, are rearing up and wanting to go, but he's holding it back, and this represents your heartfelt energy and your passion. And we have the pyramids in the background here, saying that he loves to go on adventures and new energy and discover new, the new. So new. And so there's a lot of times when we have that night terror energy, the Mayo Clinic also says that this is due to sometimes a change in location, or, you know, a major change, a disruption in the structure of your day-to-day life, especially in children. And then we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is representing judgment and justice coming in from the spiritual realm, and it being brought into the traditional structures of earth. And he has his right hand in a blessing. So he is saying, if you're on the right side of the law, this will be a blessing coming in. And if not, well, you are going to have to deal with the consequences of your actions. And this is, bringing it through, if you're a religious person and you go to church, or you have a religion that you attend, this could represent, popes, bishops, cardinals, gurus, rabbis, whatever that energy is. And then we have, like, if you're more on the spiritual end, it's talking about meditation and prayer and connecting without the intermediary to the Most High, and bringing that energy down into the physical realm, into the physical court systems of whatever country you're in. And then we have, disappointment in love. And quite often, if this is romantic love, it definitely is talking about this third party energy here. This could represent, the disappointment. And the fourth cup sometimes could be the ultimate gift of all, the baby. And so there could have been a conception of a child, but not within this couple. And so that would be disappointing. So this is, and it's sitting on the Emperor and his love life. So I don't know what happened here exactly. This could be your energy, or it could be some energy coming in, some information or communication coming in about a situation like this. We have 3 cups standing here as well, and this sometimes can represent you being having wanted to launch something like a project or business or something you just love to do, or something you love to be, or it could be 3 different relationships or 3 different partnerships, and they've always failed, and it's kind of like the universe is saying, take one more cup, and you're like, no thank you. I'm feeling so disappointed. I'm just trying to get over this last one, let alone go out there and be vulnerable again. And it could also sometimes represent an energy of someone that you have given 3 chances to, and they're asking for a 4th, and you're like, no, 3 strikes, you're out, I'm done. And that would be fair, because recognize that people do show us who they are the first time around more often than not, and sometimes we just don't want to believe them. So if someone has shown you 3 times who they are, you can probably rely on the fact that they're probably not going to change. And here like for you anyway. And the Queen of Pentacles energy is talking about someone who is really, really admired for being very, like she can make something out of nothing. So she also prefers quality over quantity, and she comes from generational wealth. So this is old money, like a legacy that's passed down from one generation to the next. And she's not flashy with her money. She doesn't have to be. She doesn't care to impress people with it. She's just she uses money as a tool. But when she comes up now, I'm always asking, because people in my collective have pointed out, I see it in a lot of tarot readings where people feel that something has not, they lost something that was supposed to be coming in, an inheritance or some sort of, it could be anything. And with the Pentacle energy, it quite often is around money. The Pentacles actually represent the element of earth, and they represent health, wealth, and happiness on earth. So you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. So this is talking more than just making money. But money, let's face it, money really matters these days to be able to live a lifestyle that would be pleasant to live. And so this energy, I always ask now, why is she having to be so resourceful? Because it's good that she can be and that she is, but what happened to her legacy? And I asked that question for the collective here, like what's going on with that? Let's see if we can get some answers around that as well. And we have the Strength card. So this is talking about having the strength and the courage to face the fears. And that's what I feel like. There's something about this. I don't know. It's like a piece of the puzzle or Rubik's Cube, it's not, you miss one little move, you miss one little step, or you do one step out of order, and then it throws it off, and you have to go back and redo it, and go back and see where you made that error, and then move forward from there. This is about having the strength and the courage to do that, to face your fears. This young woman here, she is reaching deep into this mature male lion's mouth. Now, this would be very dangerous to do, but he's being totally submissive. He's got his tail tucked under, and she's doing this because she wants to reach her 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. And she's like, wow, really determined, and that's why he is allowing it. So the lion is representing your fears that you want to face. And quite often this can be from childhood. And fears that we have deeply imprinted on us from our childhood can really affect us later in life. And maybe that's why this energy is coming up. It's time to let go of whatever this is that is holding you back from having this energy that you want to move forward. And then we have, look at there's 8 wands being launched here. So this could be talking about actions that you launch after facing your fears. And it can also talk about wands representing energy that's being launched at you or towards you. So if this is unfinished business from your family, like going back maybe more than 1 or 2 generations, whatever this is, this could be old energy that just has never been cleared up. It could be really old, and it might go really far back in time. So it's interesting. This also sometimes can represent conception. So this can talk about a baby. Remember I said this sometimes can talk about a baby being born, they would call it out of wedlock. And maybe there's some sort of energy around that. And that's like that this is something that happened way back when. And it's affecting the bloodline. Interesting. Now it's sitting on the Emperor again, being disappointed about this, you know, and then this could be action that he's taken, but it's hitting this energy here, or it could be this energy here taking action and it's landing on the Emperor. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see what else is going on here. We have a tower. Of course we have a tower. What else could happen? So this is good though, because this is a reality check coming in. And I feel like I'm onto something here because we do have the tower. The tower is very uncomfortable, and towers are usually like something you want to avoid. But I feel like everybody has been avoiding the tower. And look at the anatomy of the tower. It's an implosion, you know, going outward. You know, and we have conception, and we have this third-party energy. Perhaps there's some sort of energy that you know, down your family line, something happened, or this could be a secret that's being kept from you from your childhood that everybody knows about but you. All these other people are, you know, behind your back, know about it, but you don't. And it's causing a lot of issues. So the tower is when your intuition is saying, hey, you need to really pay attention to this. What's really going on here? And it could have to do with this energy here, for sure. It's coming out, you know, this is, you know, when you first, you know, at first the universe will whisper, hey, want to take a look at that? Then the frying pan comes out. Then whack over the head, you still don't get it. So then we have to have the 2x4 treatment. And when that doesn't work, lightning hits. But at the same time, how often does lightning hit? You know, the odds of being hit by lightning are really slim, actually. And so, so is winning the lottery, or, you know, so I feel like there's some sort of energy here that it could cause a tower for the people around you if you find out. Because why are they keeping it from you? It doesn't make sense. They must have good reason for keeping it from you. Or, you know, it really doesn't make sense otherwise. And I feel there's something there. And then that gets passed down, that energy gets passed down to the next generation, the next generation. So let's see here. We have being in a mental prison and having to be really resourceful when you shouldn't have to be. There's something missing, something about your lifestyle that has been thrown out of whack. And it happened, I feel like, when you were younger, and it's in the back of your mind all the time. You might even have, like, if something happened to you before you were like 5 or 6, you know, you probably wouldn't have, you might have glimpses of memory of it, but not the whole picture. Because the subconscious mind is basically made up of what we're told by the people in charge of our care. And unless something very traumatic happens, we tend to not, like, how much do you remember about your childhood before kindergarten? And especially when you're a baby, right? And yet your body remembers it and your subconscious mind remembers it, but you don't, you know? It's that kind of energy. And other people around you, like, this could be like a story that's passed down through the generations. This is the way it went, but that's not really the way it went. And so it's causing whatever issues here. And this is, again, talking about something being launched, conception happening. And so this could be, you know, like a family secret, you know. And finally, justice is coming in. The justice is knowing what it is so that you can just get on with your life and quit wondering, you know, what's going on behind my back. That's a real energy I'm getting. Not feeling safe around your own family, like, what's that about? So let's see. Let's look into this some more. I'm going to clarify with my oracle cards. This is Tales from the Vector, and it's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. The numbers on these cards are how the paintings are numbered in my gallery on talesfromthevector.com, and this oracle is exclusive to this channel. So I haven't put it out in physical form as of yet. So the star energy is talking about, you know, you were born different. You were born to shine. You were born to stick out. And but there's an innocence to that energy as well. And it's not so much like a lot of people might think. Like the star energy is very childlike in many ways, but it's more of a choice of being childlike and you know, not becoming bitter from life. It's that type of energy. The star is saying that you're following your north node energy, and that's the North Star energy, that you're on your destined path and you're moving forward as best you can in that energy. But there's something in the back of your mind that is holding you back and possibly causing you to have nightmares. Like I have not remembered, like I don't remember the last time I had a dream that was really scary. But when I was a child, I had those dreams, like, and they were like replays of a movie. And I could tell you I could make a movie about them. Maybe one day I will. But like when I had this dream, this last dream I had, the people's faces in the dream, like they've never showed up. And it was my old dream from my childhood. But the faces that showed up in this dream, because I never had faces before, were people I didn't know who these people were. And then dissension with friends like this, who needs enemies? So this is swimming with sharks. Definitely, like I feel there's people out there that could be telling you what's going on, like they know what's going on, and everybody's keeping it from you for some reason, and it's causing dissension, a lot of people arguing with each other because of it at this point, I'm getting. And it's a blind spot for you. And it's talking about, you know, we all have scotomas. We have little scotomas in our eyes where the pixels just are a little bit blurry. We don't notice it because, you know, when you look at a real big screen TV, there's so many pixels there. If there's a few that are off, you don't really notice unless it was right on your pupil. So that but a blind spot in life is similar like that. It could be something that you can see that no one else can. And you're seeing it in your dreams, but maybe, like, isn't that interesting that, I mean, I'm talking like, I had this dream probably, I remember having this dream since I could ever remember until probably about the age of about 10 or 11. And I can recall it like as if I'm playing a movie. But this is the first time ever I saw faces in it. And I could not recognize a single one. But that may be because I've been, you know, doing all these readings and now it's coming up, you see. In my dream, there was actually faces for the first time. Interesting. So this could be talking about, I feel like there could be other people in the collective that also have had this experience, or maybe who have children that are experiencing this. And I feel like if we can clear it up a little bit, that, you know, that it will be less intense for everybody. We have temperance here. So this is about being on your journey and, you know, not giving in to real negative emotions and just being able to move through it. And it's talking about being definitely on your path, having the patience to stay on your path. A lot of people feel that this is like an earth angel energy. And maybe it's because, like, when we're children, we miss being in the spiritual realm. Like when you think, you know, when you're a baby, you're closer to God than when you're an adult most of the time. You know, babies come from God, right? And then we have the ego. And that's another thing that's coming up, that when I said that, is if you're a baby that maybe was, you know, there was some sort of a third party energy here, and you were, you know, maybe your father isn't who you think he is, that energy, it doesn't, every baby is conceived through God, and it's God's, you know, a gift from God. So this is, every child is conceived with love from God. And so this is talking about keeping your ego in check and not allowing you know, in spiritual terms, when people are talking about the ego, yes, it can mean, you know, you're too boastful or proud or whatever, but this also can mean, when spiritual people talk about the ego, sometimes it can be talking about a situation where you're talking yourself out of what you want because you feel like your ego is telling you, oh, you're not all that. Why would you're a star? Come on, like what do you mean you're a star? It's that type of energy because the ego wants to keep you in your physical space, not in your spiritual. And then we have the father figures. So I do feel that there could be some of that energy for some of you. There could be something way back when. It could even not be you. It could be your mother, your grandmother, great-grandmother. It could go way back. We don't really know 100%. But definitely this can be about this energy of just not knowing what it is, I feel is like that thing. So I'm going to take one more card for the top. And we have hidden secrets and illusions coming out with the moon energy. So this is something that's been hidden. I feel with this, I feel that if you face your fears and you say, like before you fall asleep, okay, if I have this dream again, I want to know what it's about exactly. And I'm ready to face it. Where is she? The Strength card. And that I'm ready to face it. I want to see exactly what it's about. I don't want to be kept in the dark about it anymore. I'm brave now and I can handle it. So I'm going to try that before I fall asleep and see if I can figure out who the faces were in this dream, because it's been around for decades. All right. Thank you for your time and energy and your likes and comments. This is definitely a very random reading. But I just really got the feeling that there's at least one other person in the community that is going through a similar thing. And I feel that, it can be easily resolved once we face it. All right, bye for now. I will have another reading for you soon. Thank you for your likes, comments, and subscribes. I appreciate them all. Bye for now.